Ari Lewis Show.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Ari Lewis Show here on Israel Sports and News Radio. Thank you for joining us. At any time, you can email the program, arilewishow@hotmail.com, or you can email the station, Israel Sports News Radio @gmail.com. We have a very special guest today. He's asked questions ranging from Zionism, Judaism, homosexuality, what happens to the Jews if Palestine goes back to Palestine, whatever that means. He is coming on right now. He's the director of the Ask Project. It's our pleasure to welcome first time to the program, Corey Gil-Shuster. Corey, how you doing out there?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
It's great to have you on. So I want to first explain to the audience how I found out about you. It'll sound a bit ironic, but in my spare time, I like to look up anti-Israel videos or anti-Jewish videos. And then to the side, there was one of your videos that said, why do Jews not believe in Jesus? And I said, oh, that's kind of interesting, and clicked on it. You were in Mea Shearim, and it looked like you were about to be attacked. The police had to come in. I want to get your perspective if you felt, first of all, any danger, and have you done videos at all where you felt something dangerous could happen? Because you go to different parts of Israel, you ask some pretty tough questions. Have you ever felt your safety was in danger?
Only twice in the West Bank. The time you're talking about in Mea Shearim, it was a little intimidating, but it was a bunch of mostly younger guys just sort of swarming around, trying to convince me that there is such a thing as God, and I kept saying, yeah, whatever, I don't believe. So, but it was a bit intimidating, but I didn't really, I assume they're not going to be violent over something like that. In the West Bank, twice I was threatened. Once is actually on video of me truthfully acting like an idiot. I'm a 45-year-old man yelling at 16-year-olds about how they were giving their views of Israel, and it was statement after statement which was just absolutely ridiculous about Jews and Israelis, and they really knew nothing. But it had been a day already of people saying really dumb things about Jews and Israelis and horrible things about, there should be another Holocaust. And so at that point, it was just like I just let go. And I figured I'm going to film it because that's what I do. And so I was laying into them. And at one point, it's in the video, but someone says, if you were a Jew, I would stab you. Are you sure you're not a Jew? Like we're saying in Arabic. And, I knew what was happening, but I still the emotional part of me was feeling threatened. The angry part of me was thinking, I just got to keep doing this. And so we stood there for a while. I don't know how serious he was, if he really would stab me. I have no clue. This was, sort of a middle-class kid. No idea. And another time I was in Hebron, and it was actually not me threatened, it was my translator. Some 18-year-old kept referring to ISIS as a person. And I think at a certain point he felt really stupid. He realized that he's an idiot. And so he asked to erase the video. And I said, yeah, no problem. I'll erase the video. I'm not going to, and he said, no, do it now. And then he turned to my translator and he apparently said in Arabic, I know where you live. I'm going to come to your house and kill you.
Wow.
And I could tell he was saying something threatening. I didn't know what it was. She told me after, and she luckily is smart and she said, how dare you open your mouth to, a 30-year-old woman that way? Who the hell are you? I'm going to come after you, kind of thing. But that was a little intimidating.
Okay, so certainly I've had a couple experiences in that nature. And then you ask all types of very interesting questions, and the titles of your videos are very interesting because it kind of, I don't know if provocative is the right word, but it might say something like, are you against Jews, or are you against gays, that type of thing?
Yeah, I asked the questions that I'm asked. I mean, people
Right.
ask those kind of questions, and sometimes I have to simplify it a bit so either Israelis or Palestinians kind of understand what people are asking. But really, that's the way they're asked. I mean, that's what people want to know.
Have you ever, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of interesting responses. What are some of the ones that really are at the top of your mind when you asked the question, got the answer, you kind of shocked? Even though it's possible you can hear anything. But was there something in particular that really stuck out in your mind and you thought, I can't believe I heard that one?
Yeah, there's lots. I mean, I'm for good and for bad. Usually they're usually bad. The responses more on the Palestinian side, I'm thinking. Yeah, of course. The first question I asked was, do you plan to throw the Jews in the sea? And I actually meant it as a joke question, because I thought nobody's going to say yes, and I'll just make jokes about, I have to pack, or I have to learn how to swim, or something like that. And, the first couple of people said, of course. And I kept having to repeat, and get someone to translate. Are you serious? Are you serious? They said, of course. Of course we're going to throw the Jews in the sea. And so that was shocking. And I was with 2 or 3 Israelis. And after that, they were like, we have to get out of here. Like, they were freaked out. Because they didn't expect it either. You hear these things, but you don't actually expect people to say it.
In your opinion, does that come from a lack of education or education in that manner? Does it come from a feeling that Palestinians feel occupied? I mean, what in particular? Because it's not something I feel that most Jews would say we want to chuck all the Arabs out of the country. There are some that do say that. I don't want to lie, but I feel like it's not a mainstream thing. Do you feel it's mainstream from the Palestinians?
It's pretty mainstream, or the wish for sure is very mainstream. Even if some people say, oh, we can't do it, we're not strong enough, but the wish is absolutely there. Where does it come from? It's a bit, I would say, part of it is, there's certain, I hate to use the word suffer. There are people who've been in limbo for 70 to 100 years. They've never had a country of their own. They've never had any good leadership. All they get is used and abused by everybody. Both Palestinians for sure and Israelis around democracy. I don't think Israelis are very knowledgeable about democracy, even though this is a democracy. They're just not very, they sort of think in